Ayah, and 4.5 years ago, I became really obsessed with this self-imposed question, which is, does complex, sophisticated, powerful technology have to look like this? This is the Z80 processor. It's one of the most cloned and powerful processors of the past few decades. And it was the first project that I studied as an engineer, as a computer engineer. And studying electronics, such a complex project, was the one thing that I took of it. It was very predictable, very prescribed, very repeatable, and very boring. And so I spent sort of a lot of time thinking about, can technology be a creative medium? Can it be a beautiful medium? Can it be something that we use to make art with? Started thinking about what are some other sort of technologies of time that we've used to make things beautiful. So this is a mock-up that's made of Lego, but it represents, you know, construction materials of early centuries that people have made the most beautiful things with, and it was the technology of the time. But also looking forward at new technologies of today, so software. And software has become something that many people use to make art with. This is a project by Andrea Nicholas Fisher that's an algorithmically generated painting. So really sort of starting to think of, how did software make it? It's a very technical field, a very technical skill set, and still we were able to separate the technology from the creation, and we were able to really abstract and make things that are abstract and beautiful out of a very sort of harsh and technical medium, and sort of got to thinking about object-oriented software. This idea of making software that is modular, that is a library, where you can take pieces of code from different people are writing and put them together and make things that are more powerful and more beautiful. How could that possibly apply to hardware? Would the equivalent be object-oriented hardware? Is it just about us making hardware or electronics that are modular and that piece together? But for me, it was something that was more than that. It was not about the object. It's about the interaction. So I'm not very interested in electronics per se, but more interested in light, interested in sound, interested in the concept of sensing. So how are these things that we can make into a creative medium? This is the very first version of Little Bits that I worked on about 4.5 years ago at IBM, actually. And it was these little cardboard prototypes that had electronic components sort of soldered onto them with copper tape. And the idea was really to be able to grab electronic components that would otherwise be very complex and really reserved for experts, and allow them to be something that people that are amateurs or people that have never touched electronics before are able to grab them and play with them and swap them out and try something else. So the first versions were trying to put a little light bulb on a piece and see how it works, and really try to make it playful. Fast forward about 4.5 years after, this idea became concretized. We now make electronics that are modular. It's a platform called Little Bits, which I'm going to show you. And the idea is that every interaction is a ready-to-use brick. So the first picture was a picture of a button. This picture is a picture of a colored LED. And the idea is that we now have a library of electronic modules of every single interaction, light and sound and motion and sensing, that are actually ready to use as construction bricks. So basically the idea is that when you look around the toy stores and you see how much crap is out there, oftentimes the answer is that's what kids want. But actually that's not what kids want, and we're finding that actually kids really would like to make something that is challenging. So these are some pictures from that the community has sent us, people that are playing with their kids, senior citizens that are in centers that are trying to get back to creating, kids that are going to sleep with their bits, and it's very exciting to see that technology is something that you can engage with at that level. But the other thing is that actually the toy industry seems to appreciate that too. We've been in production for about a year, and plenty of people have come out and really said this is such an exciting way to be educational about toys. And so these are some of the awards that we've collected, and we can actually look at it and be like, you know what? Toys don't have to look like crap, and toys don't have to be thrown out in the garbage. And these are things that are really used to make kids grow their imagination. So Little Bits is a library, and it's an open source library. And the idea is that we put the designs online, and people are encouraged to make their own. And each bit is a different interaction, and it keeps growing. We have people that are suggesting bits that they want to make, anything from a hover bit to a penguin finder to a car alarm to a sister alarm, and all these different things that allow you to engage at a different level. And so part of it is also not just being open source about the actual design files in a very technical way, but really about the things that you make. So people are starting to put up projects that they've made, anything from a light carousel to an interactive building, and really sort of sharing their process. And there's really a sense of people starting to grow the community and starting to share the ideas they make. We're sort of trying to push this idea a little further, and this only a few weeks ago, last week actually, we launched a campaign called "What Are You Making for the Holidays?" and basically trying to say that around the holidays, people are spending so much money on products, and the product is the end goal. So when you've given a product to somebody or when you bought it, this is where your relationship with the product ends. So what happens if the product is not the point? The product is the beginning. The product is the platform. So we're getting inspired from different mediums of creation, such as cooking, and we launched some tutorial videos that are like cooking shows. So here you see Crystal, who's actually one of we have colleagues here, our amazing team members, Crystal and Jordi and Paul, who you'll see in the pictures and their hands. And we're getting inspired by cooking shows and how cooking shows inspire people to make their own food at home. And technology can definitely be the same. And the idea is that we launched this campaign and inviting people to make their own holidays. So we have these postcards, and we're inviting people to sketch what they want to make. So the idea is people would sketch the projects that they want to make, the most crazy sort of holiday project that they want to see made or make for someone or give to someone, and send them in to us by mail, and we're going to pick the top 3 and get you everything you need to make that project and to really start to take that one step further. So we're based here in New York. We're getting started. So the company is a little over a year old, and we're very excited to be here and to start to get more out and get more interaction with kids and designers and artists and adults and see how things are going. And so I'm very excited to hear questions if you have any, and thank you.